Thank you, Vern. Yep. Carter.
Next at 5, thousands of hurricane victims massed outside the New Orleans Superdome, and not all of them are alive. Tonight, the city's mayor issues a desperate SOS.
I'm CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard.
And I'm CBS 4's Brian Andrews. We're coming to you tonight from Kenner, Louisiana.
Reporting on the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. We'll have the latest coming up.
Flames burning out of control with no firefighters to put them out.
The New Orleans airport turned into a makeshift hospital.
Dramatic new home video of Katrina's deadly storm surge.
Gas prices skyrocket, and Florida's governor now calls on consumers to conserve.
Live pictures now from Neighbors for Neighbors tonight, spearheading local relief efforts. You're going to find out how you can help.
Brian Norcross here in Weather Control. It's September 1st and the tropics are beginning to look like September. 2 tropical depressions and another wave to watch. I'll run it down for you here in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian, good evening. I'm Beatrice Canals in for Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Rob Hanrahan. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News First at 5.
Now, fights, fires, and gunshots, and thousands waiting for a ride out of town.
It's a desperate situation here.
Tonight, crisis and chaos in New Orleans, under siege and underwater.
The violence and unrest there has intensified so much that our own CBS 4 News crews and others in New Orleans have moved now beyond the city limits.
That's right. We have dramatic pictures and stories that you just won't see anywhere else. From CBS 4's Brian Andrews and CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard. They're in Kenner, Louisiana tonight, just outside New Orleans.
Hello from the police command post here in Kenner, Louisiana. We're just outside of New Orleans where the situation is very bad. Let me take you to videotape shot just a short time ago where already the dead bodies are beginning to pile up at the convention center. There's an old lady parked in a wheelchair with a sheet over her. There appears to be another body wrapped up in a sheet on the floor. They simply have no place to put them, so they are pushing them out of the way. The search for bodies continues in some of the hardest hit parishes, and what searchers are doing is that when they go into a house and they find a dead body or bodies, they take spray paint. They mark D on the front door of the house. Another piece of videotape to share with you coming into us from the New Orleans area. A giant fire raging at a housing complex on the edge of downtown. The flames were spectacular. People may have been injured. People may have been killed in this one, but we don't know because fire crews simply could not get to it. Now, video from the Louisiana Superdome, which is an absolute mess. It's flooded out. It smells. It's unsanitary. It is disgusting, and people want out. Crowds are out of control there. They've already had riots. They have already had fights. We're being told that they have several reported rapes that happened in the overnight hours at the Louisiana Superdome. People are screaming for help. They definitely want out of there. The trash is piling up. Not a good situation. Same thing is happening over at the convention center in downtown New Orleans as people have gone there simply being tired of sitting at the Superdome, and now they are simply waiting for a ride out of town. Tensions are high, as you're about to see in this next piece of video. Fights. They're breaking out left and right. Take a look at this tape. It's a fight between 2 kids caught on camera, and it shows you just how dire the situation is. Because it is deteriorating into a situation of lawlessness in downtown, our managers at Channel 4 decided the best thing for us to do would be to get out of town. And here's what my photographer Kevin Martels and I found as we shot our last piece of videotape in the downtown area before leaving. As we're driving, we're seeing people walking towards the Superdome, pushing and pulling all of their belongings, hoping for a bus ride out of here to the Astrodome in Houston. And adding insult to injury, it's raining in New Orleans. As we're heading out of town, we're looking at hundreds of people who are now up on the I-10, making their way across the Mississippi River Bridge. And with that, we've made our way out of New Orleans, and we're crossing the mighty Mississippi River on our way to hopefully a much better situation in the community of Kenner. All right, so when we made it to the command post, I had a huge smile on my face because I ran into this guy. Our brand new meteorologist, David Bernard, who just came to Channel 4 in Miami from, of all places, New Orleans. And he was here with our crew with food and rain slickers and T-shirts. And David, you had a heck of a time getting here yourself.
It's been an unbelievable journey, Brian. We started on Tuesday night, and we did not get to Baton Rouge until midnight last night. We had to wait till this morning in order to get into New Orleans. Just a horrific scene, even north of the city right now, with even lawlessness breaking out in Baton Rouge today. This is what it looked like as we headed from Baton Rouge to New Orleans today. Gas lines for miles, police convoys. There were many ID checks along the way, and even some of the suburban areas that I stopped in on the way, looting is going on in the suburbs, with one man saying he's had to pull his gun out several times just to ward off some of these looters. Now finally we did make it to the Troop B headquarters here today in Kenner, Louisiana, which is a suburb of New Orleans, out where the international airport is. The scene was set with military trucks around here, lots of state police troopers, rescue teams from as far away as Vancouver. You saw, bulletproof vests on all of these police officers, assault rifles, semi-automatic machine guns, heavy military type equipment, even, bullets being passed out by the cases as they prepare to move into New Orleans to take back that city. Which brings up one other issue, well, one of the many hundreds of issues there are, is that we caught up with some MCI technicians who were out there. They were getting flap jackets put on them, and they were going to be escorted back to New Orleans City Hall to restore communications for the city. But at the last minute, the violence got so bad, they told the MCI folks they wouldn't take them in as well. I talked to one gentleman who has been in every major disaster going back to Hurricane Andrew, and here's what he had to say. What about Hurricane Andrew?
Hurricane Andrew was, it just seemed to be a different type of hurricane. This is more of just total devastation. In Andrew, there were people staged and ready to help with providing services, whereas there's no real way in or out of here with the water, the ice, the MREs like we saw in Florida and different places normally.
Anyway, pretty incredible stuff when you think about that man has been through all the Florida hurricanes last year, Hurricane Andrew and 9/11, saying, boy, he's never seen anything as bad as that. And Brian, I'd just like to say to you, and I've been telling the viewers in Miami this the last few days, I've only been gone from New Orleans for 2 months. I never thought when I came back from my first visit that this is what I would be seeing. I literally know hundreds of people who have lost everything, lost their jobs, their careers, their livelihoods, their friends. And I mean, it's like a whole community has just been blown apart. And I think it's unprecedented. You have 1 million people who are displaced. That's it.
They're definitely calling this the 911 of the 9/11 of natural disasters.
Yeah.
So
it's just absolutely incredible. I'm meteorologist David Bernard.
And I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News, coming to you from Kenner, Louisiana. We'll see you later on in this hour.
Yes, we'll have more from them tonight. A call for help for the victims of Hurricane Katrina from the President of the United States. President Bush is asking 2 of his predecessors, his father and former President Bill Clinton, to head a national hurricane relief effort.
CBS 4's Stacey Case is live in Washington, D.C. with that part of the story for us. Stacey.
Good afternoon to you, Rob and Beatrice. President Bush will tour the region tomorrow by helicopter and on foot, and he has now sent a relief package to Congress requesting $10 billion in aid. 4 days after the storm, the wheels of relief are not turning fast enough for many.
We all know this is an agonizing time for the people of the Gulf Coast. I ask their continued patience as recovery operations unfold.
The president, who will tour the area Friday, met with his father and former President Clinton to coordinate a massive fundraising campaign. The government says trucks are hauling in tons of supplies across the Gulf region, but logistically it just takes time to reach everyone. The military has coordinated airdrops of food and water over Mississippi, and the Navy is sending up to 8 ships, including 1 floating hospital. Some have already arrived.
We have met this challenge when there have been disasters overseas. We will meet this challenge in a disaster of this magnitude in our own country.
The Coast Guard has rescued more than 3,000 people, but the looting and shootings are drastically hampering those efforts. The Pentagon has now deployed a total of 28,000 National Guard troops to help restore order.
We have to make sure that everybody is safe so that we can continue to provide that assistance.
Now, many members of Congress are cutting their summer recess short, returning tonight in hopes of passing the president's aid package as early as Friday. Reporting live from Washington, Stacey Case, CBS 4 News.
Well, plenty of South Floridians want to give to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. The problem is finding out who to give it to. CBS 4's Jason Wheeler is live in our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank tonight with more on that part of the story. Jason.
Yeah, Beatrice, they make it real easy for us to give. Basically, all you have to do is give them a phone call. Right now, monetary donations are the most preferred method of donating. You can call Neighbors for Neighbors with your monetary donations right now. The phone number 305-597-4404. This, though, is not the only way that South Florida is helping to respond, or at least trying to help to respond.
Higher learning on higher ground for college students who have fled the floodwaters around New Orleans.
We are hoping not to turn anybody away. We feel very strongly about a semester is so important in the life of a student.
Under highly unusual circumstances, Louisiana students are now being allowed to temporarily attend Florida universities.
I mean, they've pushed everything, all the fees, all the waiting lists. If classes close, they open it up. And very helpful.
FIU has already opened the door to dozens who are seeking refuge and a degree. Young people who have left behind everything they know so that they can continue to learn.
Difficult, really difficult. I mean, it's just that upheaval, you know, I feel lost right now.
He's not alone in that feeling. Disaster relief workers across Florida also at a loss as they struggle to help those reeling from the loss of basic necessities in Gulf states.
How many trailer loads do you have here?
Right now we got 3 ready to go, but we can't load them or ship them because we have no place up there to ship it to.
Julius Littman of the local organization Stop Hunger has many items that disaster victims desperately need right now, but he and other relief organizations are themselves in need of a way to get everything where it needs to go.
We're going to try to help out as much as we can, but we can't force anything on them.
We've seen the chaos on the scene there. Now we're getting an exclusive listen to the chaos behind the scenes through this disaster conference call we sat in on between federal and state government officials and relief agencies.
It's utter chaos now, and we're just not going to get anything productive done until they get a little bit of a cleanup up there and get things organized.
We're short of all kinds of stuff, of food and water and everything, and we're having a great deal of difficulty managing to provide commodities.
This is all new to them, and you know, down in Florida, unfortunately, we're seasoned.
I know.
So I think what we need to do is just sit back and be a little patient.
Clearly, right now, money is the most easily transported donation. So in coming days, Miami-Dade firefighters will be among the many who are hoping to respond to the emergency there by taking to the streets here to fill the boot.
We were spared, and I think we should thank God for that and also share our wealth with those in need today.
Definitely some good advice. Those firefighters will be collecting this Labor Day weekend for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, as they do every year, but at the same time they're also taking in money for those Hurricane Katrina victims. But you can either give that way, or again, probably the easiest way to do this is to give our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank a phone call. Every penny that you send will go to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. The phone number 305-597-4404, or you can log on to our website, which is cbs4news.com. Live with Neighbors for Neighbors, Jason Wheeler, CBS 4 News.
All right, as Jason just said, you can also find out how to join the hurricane relief effort by logging on to our website. Here it is once again, cbs4news.com.
And CBS 4 will also air a half-hour special report tonight on the crisis and chaos in the Gulf Coast after Katrina, emphasizing on how you can help provide relief to those storm victims. That's tonight, right here at 7 o'clock on CBS 4.
And be sure to also tune in for our special Hurricane 2005 in the path of Hurricane Katrina. Our one-hour special, anchored by Brian Norcross, also includes a telethon for hurricane victims. It airs Saturday night at 7 o'clock and repeats on our sister station UPN 33 on Sunday at 1 p.m.
And just into the news desk, new video out of Kenner, Louisiana, where an airport is being used as a field hospital. CBS 4's Art Barron is here with more.
Yeah, here's something you don't often get to see, a makeshift hospital
at the airport out there. You can see a steady stream of people who are coming. This video taken just within the past couple of hours. Whether it's hot or it's raining out there, you can see dozens and dozens of people. Many of them are weak. They haven't eaten for days. They are dehydrated, but at least they are now getting care at the airport. That's the very latest here at the Breaking News Desk. Art Barron, CBS 4 News.
And now we take you back north to Mississippi, where the death toll is rising. Tonight, at least 126 people are confirmed dead. And also tonight, new and dramatic home video of Katrina's deadly storm surge in Biloxi. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez is here with the latest. Elliot, we're taking a first-hand look here.
Yeah, Rob, just when we thought we'd seen it all, we're seeing more of Hurricane Katrina. And the search for victims, meantime, continues in Biloxi, where people are struggling to find the basic necessities. As this continues, we're now seeing new video shot by a storm chaser from South Florida who captured the power of the storm as it hit Biloxi.
The video was shot by Shane Brown of Boca Raton, who was inside a Biloxi motel as the storm surge rose into his third-floor room.
Oh, there goes the house!
The sounds of building literally being torn apart was deafening, the camera rolling as Katrina unleashed its fury. In some cases, people may still be trapped in their homes. That's why urban search and rescue teams like this one have the daunting task of going house to house looking for survivors and finding victims in the piles of debris. But it's an undertaking beyond comprehension. Neighborhoods were either flattened or remained underwater, and many roads impassable. Biloxi residents pleaded for water as they spent hours outside a Walmart, the line snaking around the back.
We're thinking each day, one day we'll stand in line for gas, maybe one day for the water, one day for the ice. There's a line for everything.
At this supermarket, food was handed out through a muddy opening in a door.
Oh, that feels good, huh?
For hundreds of people, a fire truck brought relief from the heat, this baby finally getting a cool bath. These hungry children, a hot meal at a shelter where about 7,000 people are now staying.
They need to get some help. We need help around here, and they need to get it as soon as possible.
In Biloxi, only half the city's wells are working right now. Water is contaminated, the toilets don't flush, and relief supplies are not getting there fast enough. Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
From Mississippi, we move now to Houston, Texas. That's where thousands of storm refugees are being bused into the Astrodome. A convoy of nearly 500 buses is transporting the evacuees. The first arrived just after midnight.
Cots and blankets for up to 25,000 people have been spread out across that facility. Survivors from Hurricane Katrina will now have air conditioning, showers, hot meals, and phone service.
But some evacuees are being turned away at the door. Those who drove themselves to the Astrodome have been denied entry. Authorities say the shelter is only open to those who are bussed in, and that's leaving many angry and confused.
I wasn't able to get on the bus. I got a ride from a guy, just like my partner over here. He he flew down here, and they wouldn't allow him to get in. He has family also. He has family in there. They still wanted him in, so we don't know what to do.
Well, some are considering breaching security to gain access to the Astrodome and the resources inside.
Well, here's something no one wants to hear tonight. The tropics are really heating up with tropical depression number 14, and that's not all.
Your weather station, of course, tracking all the activity. CBS 4 meteorologist Brian Norcross has it all live in weather control. Brian?
All right, let's go down the list here because we do have several, but there's only one really we have to be a little bit conscious of, and it's a long way off. Here's the satellite picture. There is Tropical Depression Lee. There's Tropical Depression 14. There's a flare-up over here that we're going to have to keep half an eye on, but it's not at all tropical at this point. And there's one off the bottom of your screen that is the one that we are going to have to watch. Let's just move these out of the way quickly here. There's Tropical Depression 14. It's going to move up into the middle of the Atlantic, a 35-mile-an-hour storm, moving north-northwest at 12. You see it's 1,000 miles east of the Leeward Islands. Not a threat to anybody but perhaps Bermuda. There's Tropical Depression Lee, again a 35-mile-an-hour system, north-northwest at 5, east of Bermuda. That's not going to be a threat to anybody either. Now, let's look at the way out in the Atlantic. Here is Africa here. Here's the system right there. This is the one that is reminiscent somewhat of Hurricane Ivan last year in terms of its location and potential strength. Now, that doesn't mean it's going where Ivan did. It just is in that part of the ocean that we don't like to see systems, but of course it is the 1st of September. It would be unusual if we didn't have systems out there right now. So that's the one, but way, way out. More on the tropics, more on our weather coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Brian, help is on the way for some of the hurricane's youngest victims, sick children trapped in hospitals in the New Orleans area, and the help is coming from Miami Children's Hospital. We'll explain coming up.
Neighbors for Neighbors up and running tonight, helping to coordinate relief efforts for those who need it most. Give them a call at 305-597-4404.
Tonight at 7 on CBS 4, we'll air a half-hour special on the crisis and chaos and how you can help. Plus,
as South Florida gas prices skyrocket, a plea tonight about energy conservation from Governor Jeb Bush.
Keep it here. You're watching CBS 4 coverage of the crisis and chaos after Katrina. CBS 4 News will be right back.
But in our hearts, we're hurting.
Well, the pictures of Katrina's devastation can take your breath away.
You know, this reminds me so much of Hurricane Andrew and the days after that first.
Widespread destruction, hundreds of thousands are flooded out.
Well, CBS 4's Brian Andrews has been riding out this storm from the beginning.
New Orleans is in a state of disaster.
Today, we're only beginning to see the devastation that was caused by this hurricane.
It's the final summer sale, now through Labor Day weekend at Rick Case Acura. Now find the lowest prices of the year on all remaining 05 Acuras. RSX, TSX, MDX, TL, even the all-new RL. New Acuras from $199 a month. Buy any new Acura with 0 down. Plus get $500 in gas with any new or used car. Ends 9 p.m. Tuesday at Rick Case Acura, 441 at Sunrise, Florida's largest volume dealer.
The Rick Case philosophy is simple.
Treat every customer as our best friend.
Nature's own white wheat. All the nutrition of wheat bread with a look and taste of white.
Drive the all-new 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse at a dealer near you today. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Katrina's legacy in South Florida, high gas prices and the possibility of short supply.
And now Governor Jeb Bush's message to the state this afternoon: conserve energy in the wake of Katrina. CBS 4's Tina Verona reports.
The owner of this Citgo gas station here in Doral says apparently people are not listening to Governor Bush and are panicking. That's why he's already run out of gas.
It's 2 or 3 pennies every day.
A few pennies here, a few pennies there doesn't seem like very much, but the truth is gas prices are adding up quickly. At this Shell gas station in Doral, we saw the price of regular gas go up 4 cents, premium 2 cents, making it hard for Elier Lopez to pinch his pennies.
I was putting normally $90, $115.
But is Katrina solely to blame? Attorney General Charlie Crist has issued subpoenas to 2 oil companies who together in the past 48 hours have raised their prices, totaling $1.13.
If in fact they have the same amount of supply, yet are raising the price of fuel anyhow, that clearly could be a gouging violation.
You gotta hurry up and get it while they have it.
This BP gas station at Southwest 8th and 92nd Avenue seemed to be a bargain at $2.79 a gallon for regular gas and had folks lining up. But Governor Bush telling Floridians not to get all pumped up.
To reiterate, our fuel supply is considered adequate if residents use fuel responsibly, remain considerate of their neighbors, and don't hoard.
Not the case, though, here at this Citgo gas station in Doral. The nozzles are bagged, the pumps bone dry.
I was expecting gas, but as far as I can see, there is no more.
The problem is the demand continues to exceed, and I personally believe is the fact that people are panicking.
Alvarez is expecting another shipment and hopes his pumps will be full by tonight. Now, while you are asked by the governor to conserve, you should also be aware. The Attorney General's office has launched an investigation into possible price gouging. If you suspect price gouging, you should report it to the Florida Fraud Hotline at 1-866-9-NO-SCAM. In Doral, Tina Verona, CBS 4 News.
Well, we've been showing you dramatic rooftop rescues all week long. Now there is a South Florida connection to many of them. When we come back, the growing role local Coast Guard members are playing in the Katrina rescue and recovery effort.
Also ahead, your willingness to help is overwhelming. Live pictures here from our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. Find out what you can do. Call 305-597-4404.
And be sure to watch our CBS 4 News special report tonight at 7 on the crisis and chaos after Katrina and how you can contribute to the relief effort. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning sponsored by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week.
New at 6, South Florida Support, the massive effort to get relief to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. And the latest from Brian Andrews and David Bernard, the only South Florida TV reporters in New Orleans. New at 6.
The burn says it's working. Well, this is new. If it burns, it's working.
Imagine a dental plan that kills germs without the burn. Crest Pro Health Oral Rinse, like the leading mouthwash, kills 99% of common germs that can cause bad breath, plaque, and gingivitis, but without the burn of alcohol. Crest Pro Health kills germs without the burn.
Wake up to good health today. For a limited time only, stop by your local Publix and pick up Kellogg's Healthy Beginnings magazine, filled with valuable coupons worth over $20. Healthy living begins with healthy eating, and this free guide focuses on fiber, quick breakfast tips, heart health, and just as important, how to eat right and stay healthy. Available exclusively at Publix grocery stores. This magazine is all you need to have a healthy beginning every morning.
For a limited time, Lincoln Mercury is extending our invitation to pay the same low prices our employees and their families pay. The Lincoln Mercury Family Plan. Through September 6th, you'll get our discounts on every 2005 Mercury, including Montego, Mountaineer, Grand Marquis, Monterey, Sable, and Mariner, even the 2006 Mariner. Now, drive the 2005 Grand Marquis for a family plan price as low as $17,231. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Lincoln Mercury family to the American family, welcome.
This Labor Day, Modern Age brings you the most spectacular selection ever at the absolute lowest prices. Enjoy astounding everyday deals, plus an extra 20% off all clearance merchandise. Just click the special coupon in our insert and take advantage of already drastically discounted floor samples and special buys. Make a purchase today and pay nothing for 1 full year. This Labor Day, shop smart. Hurry into the store that won't be undersold. Modern Age, where beautiful homes cost less.
Brian Norcross with our weather, and the individual stories coming out of New Orleans are heartbreaking and amazing. When you hear them.
Just got a call from someone whose elderly father and friends are trapped in an affluent part of town near the mayor's house and asking for our help to get the military to get them out because they're afraid to leave on their boat. You know, they have a boat and they have, but they don't want to go out of the house. So we're going to do our best. All right, let's look outside here, and I'll show you what's going on around here. 82 is our temperature here, and we have had no rain here today. You notice a little bit drier here today. Real-time Doppler 4 shows a heavy thunderstorm is weakening some, but up in the northern Miami-Dade area and extreme southern Broward, be very careful in the Turnpike and the Palmetto. This is a real downpour, but it is now weakening. All right, here's the weather pattern. There is a front to the north with very dry air and beautiful weather over the northern part of the country, and it is going to come this way. Now, exactly what that's going to do for us here in South Florida is a little bit unclear. Tomorrow we'll have some sunshine, but then storms, and they'll be heavy in spots. Then we move on here to the weekend. On Saturday, the front comes down and kind of lodges to our north, moist air, storms likely, and they could be heavy. There's the dry air. It's not going to get here. Same kind of story for Sunday. And notice low pressure forming out here over the Bahamas. We're not sure what's going to happen with that low, but the computers are indicating that it might move in our direction, so we're going to be ready for some kind of development there, making it stormy here the first of next week, well into next week. Okay, spotty storms tonight, then drying out, 78 for a low. Some hot sun tomorrow, again, slow-moving storms with heavy rain up to 92. Light winds again, light and variable. And there we have storms likely could be heavy. In exactly what form, it may actually get stormier as we move into next week, but September is the second stormiest month. I think it's going to start that way for sure.
All right. Thank you, Brian. CBS 4 News at 5:30 is next.
We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ted. When I was living the single life in New York City, life was good. I had my friends, Marshall and Lily, and my pal, Barney.
I suggest we play a little game I like to call Have You Met Ted?
What? No.
Hi, have you met Ted?
Then I met the one girl who would change everything.
The real thing.
Did you kiss her? I want our first kiss to be amazing.
That is so sweet. So you chickened up.
How did it all turn out? Not exactly the way I planned.
Jerk!
How I Met Your Mother premieres CBS Monday, September 19th.
Ride it like a Ford, ride it like a Ford, ride it like a Ford. You wanna take a ride, wanna come aboard? You gotta ride it like a Ford.
The final days of the Ford family plan are here. Now's your last chance to get employee pricing on many Ford vehicles. Plus, take up to $6,000 cash back. One low price, no hassles. Employee pricing plus up to $6,000 cash back, and soon at your South Florida Ford dealer.
You know you gotta ride it.
Our best shows tonight on CBS 4. Brought to you by these fine sponsors.
If you dream of furnishing your home with the best, but think it's out of your price range, you haven't been to Behr's. Now get extra savings on the stuff that dreams are made of at Behr's incredible Labor Day weekend sale. Up to 50% savings on every item in our showroom. All the styles you want at prices you have to see to believe. No interest 1 year, 24-hour delivery. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. Behr's Labor Day weekend sale. Beyond the ordinary. Don't miss it.
$10,000 minimum for any trade-in at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass. All during the Labor Day blowout going on now until Monday at midnight. Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Sawgrass.
Are you ready?
Oprah's Wildest Dreams bus is coming to you. Big stars are making dreams come true. Plus,
Only one person could help me bring this dream to life. Halle Berry. Next Oprah.
tomorrow at 4 on CBS 4. Now, live. This is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
First at 5:30 tonight, frustration and desperation degenerating into violence tonight in New Orleans as officials there struggle to evacuate thousands and thousands of storm victims.
Meanwhile, thousands of National Guard troops in full combat gear are descending on the Swamp City in an effort to restore some type of order. The mayor of New Orleans tonight is putting out a desperate SOS.
CBS 4's Brian Andrews and David Bernard are the only South Florida reporters near New Orleans. We begin tonight with Brian in the devastated suburb of Kenner.
We're at the Louisiana State Police headquarters in Kenner, Louisiana right now, dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Let's go right to videotape so you can see what's going on in New Orleans, which is a wet mess because of the thunderstorm. It's an absolute lawless situation downtown as there are thousands of people who are hungry, they are angry, they want out, they feel like the government has abandoned them. They say they're going to start walking instead of waiting for the buses to Houston. We're hearing everything from fights to reports of killings and rapes inside the Louisiana Superdome. A very bad situation. Now let me show you some other videotape. Apparently the hospitals are trying to evacuate people who have been in there since before the storm hit. People who are very, very sick who are being medevaced out. Here's some video of them being rolled out on their gurneys and put into medical helicopters to be taken out of town. By the way, New Orleans International Airport, Louis Armstrong International Airport, as it's known as the locals call it, it's been converted into a field hospital. They're actually using a couple of the concourses to treat sick people, and C-130s are being brought in to move people out. These C-130s are also delivering supplies to the area. Another piece of videotape we have of an area called the Bethany Home. It's a home for the aged, senior citizen living facility there. These people need to get out as well. well, so there was a massive evacuation and airlift to remove these senior citizens and other people who are very ill from the Bethany home. So anyway, right now, it's just a bad situation. We've managed to make it out of New Orleans. We're now on the outskirts of town watching law enforcement head in. In fact, a lot of these police officers are being choppered into downtown to help out the New Orleans Police Department, which is simply overwhelmed at this time. Let me bring in David Bernard, our CBS 4 meteorologist, also a hometown guy here from New Orleans. David, what's it like to be back here?
Well, this isn't the town that I left. Everything has been turned upside down. You can't even tell it's a city anymore. There's no modern conveniences whatsoever. It's just a big mess. And to top it off, we've had huge rains here this afternoon, maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain. I know that is only making the conditions that more miserable. Earlier today, on our journey into town, heading in through some of the suburbs, we had to take several detours, including one along River Road. River Road is the street that runs right along the Mississippi River, all the way from out west of New Orleans, and then that continues right on into the city of New Orleans itself. But there was such massive debris over parts of River Road still, we actually had to take our truck up on the river levee, which was rather precarious. We had to take that for about a quarter of a mile. It was not meant for trucks our size to be on. We finally did make it back here to Troop B headquarters in Kenner. Again, a major staging area for this rescue operation still ongoing in New Orleans, and also to control the violence that is now breaking out in this lawless city. Now back here we have a huge van by MCI Telecommunications. They're running high-speed internet out of here, telephone lines, all the kind of modern conveniences you would need for communication. One particular gentleman was asked to be sent to downtown New Orleans, to City Hall, to reestablish communication for the city of New Orleans. They gave him a flap jacket, bulletproof vest that is, but eventually things got so bad that they wouldn't even send him in. Here's what he had to say.
I'm getting ready to take a ride downtown with a couple of officers. We're going to go down and do a site survey at City Hall, see if we can get our equipment in safely. We've heard there's a couple of riots going on down there, so we want to go in, make sure that, you know, there's no high water situations, and make sure that it's safe to get us in, and our health and well-being is going to be covered, as well as, you know, we'll be able to provide a service.
So it just continues to be an unruly situation. Every hour we're hearing different stories, more horror stories. It's just really untenable, I think, as the governor put it the other day, Brian.
And what I just can't get over is what's happening down at the Superdome with all of these people and the danger. I mean, people just going crazy, shooting people, hurting people, being out of control. Help's got to get in there, and we know the government's trying to get that help in as quickly as possible, but it's just not fast enough for these people in downtown New Orleans. Along with meteorologist David Bernard, I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News.
That's the situation in New Orleans tonight. The death toll in Mississippi stands at least 126.
Thousands in Biloxi and Gulfport, ground zero for the worst wind damage by Katrina, remain in shelters tonight. CBS 4's Bianca Solorzano is live in Biloxi, Mississippi with the latest from there. Bianca?
Hi, good evening, Beatrice. Good evening, Elliot. Yes, right now at least 7,000 people in different shelters across this state. We visited one of those shelters today, and it was really just sad to see people there. They have nothing. So many of them have lost everything, and they're just waiting for the bare essentials to arrive. Officials are doing their best, but it's taking a while. So many different factors to get those water and food and different supplies to all of those people.
Bianca, we heard about the civil unrest from our crews that are now near New Orleans tonight. Have you witnessed anything like that where you are in Mississippi?
We have heard from different people that come up to us as we're working, saying that they've seen looting at nearby places, and I say that there is a bit of a sense of lawlessness right now. We're definitely keeping our eyes open as we're working, and of course that is that curfew in effect. As soon as it gets dark, you need to stay where you are, and everyone's kind of really being protective of his or her belongings right now.
Bianca, folks in New Orleans are complaining that they're not seeing any federal aid get to them yet. What about where you are in Mississippi? Are you seeing aid arrive?
I do know that FEMA has tried to start, also the Red Cross and the National Guard, but as I talk with people in these shelters, they don't feel it's coming fast enough. They don't feel they've been seeing enough. For example, there's one site that's been set up here, and they're giving out some ice and some water, but the line The last time we checked, it took 8 hours to wait in that line. So imagine you're already tired, you're hot, maybe you have small children with you, maybe you can't even get to that location where things are being distributed. So hopefully it will improve over these next days, but right now it's very tough here.
Yeah, we can only hope that it'll get better. Thank you, Bianca Solorzano, reporting for us live from Biloxi, Mississippi.
And as this human tragedy continues to play out, many folks here in South Florida want to help and want to open up their hearts and their checkbooks to help the victims in that part of the country.
Yeah, and we've got a great way for you to start, and that is Neighbors for Neighbors tonight. We understand that Rob Hanrahan is standing by for us. He has more tonight from there. Rob.
Yeah, Beatrice and Elliot, as we've been telling you on CBS 4 News, the president calling on his father, former President Bush, and former President Clinton to get on the fundraising drive. Get the drive moving right now, because first and foremost, they're going to need the funding to get the aid to the people who need it most along the Gulf Coast. Now imagine how easy it is for you to help with this fundraising effort, to help get money into the proper hands. It's as easy as calling Neighbors for Neighbors here at 305-597-4404. The phone has been busy all day long. I want to bring Shirin Faridi in for just a minute. And Shirin, what have the calls been like today?
It's been amazing. We're getting a huge response from the community. We're getting donations as small as $5 and as large as $1,000. And companies are stepping forward and making their donations, and we're very touched. I think the South Floridians, like I told you, they have an emotional connection to this storm and to the victims, having been through Hurricane Andrew, and they're really pulling through.
It doesn't matter how little you can contribute, does it?
Absolutely not. Right now, what's needed most is money. What's urgently needed is monetary donations. Supplies are not getting to the disaster areas, and with money we can help the survivors.
Shirin, thanks. Neighbors for Neighbors, born out of Hurricane Andrew 13 years ago. For those of you most devastated by Andrew, you know what it's like to lose everything. For those of you who weren't so directly affected by Andrew, just try to imagine. There are hundreds of thousands of people in that area who have lost everything, and you can step in and help by calling Neighbors for Neighbors. Again, I'll give you the number 305-597-4404. That'll do it from here. Rob Hanrahan, CBS 4.
All right, thank you, Rob. Miami Children's Hospital also helping the victims of Hurricane Katrina, sending an aircraft to help evacuate children from hospitals in that storm zone. CBS 4's Nefertiti Jacquez has more from Opa-locka Airport tonight.
Well, Miami Children's Hospital answering a desperate cry for help. They had a Lear jet full of supplies fly out to New Orleans from the Opa-locka Airport. But they're not just bringing supplies. The hospital staff plans on evacuating the children to neighboring hospitals in Texas and here. So for at least a while, they may be calling Miami their home.
This is my crew, but I'm very proud of them.
Today marks day 2 for the Miami Children's Hospital Life Flight crew as they prepared another huge relief supply this morning for those in desperation.
This is not this powder. We don't need it.
The initial mission right now is to try to evacuate any pediatric patient that has been stuck over there.
I went through Andrew, and I remember we got a lot of help, and I thought, this was a perfect opportunity to do the same thing.
Because the victims of Hurricane Katrina are in critical need of medical attention, and the hospital these children are in is in the middle of the devastation. What do you think you're going to see when you get there?
Mostly, I think more than anything, desperation, because I know how desperate we were when we didn't have any water supplies, electricity.
So the mission to fly out all of this food, the blankets, water, baby formula, and much more to the affected areas is crucial. And the 2 nurses, 2 pilots, and sole paramedics say they're ready and willing.
Very moved that we can be of help to such a devastated area at this thing. Just give back, because a lot of other communities came to us and helped us out.
But their efforts don't stop here. The Life Flight crew is sending yet another plane full of supplies later on this afternoon. From the Opa-locka Airport, Nefertiti Jacquez, CBS 4 News.
I want to let you know that CBS 4 will air a half-hour special tonight on the crisis and chaos in the Gulf Coast after Katrina, emphasizing how you can help provide relief to the storm victims. That's tonight at 7 o'clock on CBS 4.
And be sure to also tune in for our special Hurricane 2005 in the path of Hurricane Katrina. Our 1-hour special, anchored by Brian Norcross, also includes a telethon for hurricane victims. It airs this Saturday night at 7 o'clock and will be repeated on our sister station, UPN 33, Sunday at 1 p.m.
To get information on the storm recovery and hurricane relief efforts, you can also log on to our website, cbs4news.com.
And now, unfortunately, news no one wants to hear tonight. The tropics are heating up once again with tropical depression number 14, and that's not all.
CBS 4 meteorologist Craig Setzer has it all for us in weather control. Craig?
Elliot and Beatrice, there are 3 systems we're watching right now in the Atlantic. 2 we're probably not too concerned about, but 1 we're going to be watching rather closely. It's the one that is farthest to the south. Here we are in South Florida. Over here on the left-hand side of the screen, there is Tropical Depression Lee moving to the north. There, closely behind it, is Tropical Depression 14 moving to the northwest, and then forecast to turn to the north. Both of these systems responding to a big high in the eastern Atlantic that is kind of curving things off to the north. It's this wave down here, though, that looks like it's too far to the south to feel the effects of that high, and it is most likely going to be moving to the west and could become better organized over the next several days. So we will certainly need to watch that wave way down there to the south. It could become our next tropical depression. We'll have more on that and our local forecast coming up in a bit.
Thanks, Craig. Our coverage of Katrina's aftermath continues in just a few minutes, but first, South Florida police putting out a warning after a 16-year-old is nearly abducted walking home from school.
Then, coming up all new at 6, South Florida support the massive local effort to get relief to the victims of Hurricane Katrina.
And Old Glory found in the rubble. CBS 4's Brian Andrews and David Bernard bringing us the latest pictures out of the devastated city of New Orleans. Live team coverage all new at 6.
Also ahead, some celebrities are hoping that Star Power can help hurricane victims. We'll tell you what they're doing and how you can help. CBS 4 News at 5:30. We'll be right back.
Nice ride.
Thank you, Mocha Coca. Chrysler and Jeep came up on Buku Awards. And Dodge trucks last as long as the Deagle Double Chisel. Plus, I got the hookup, nephew, for sure.
You know, I'm not too sure of what you just said. Now everybody gets a great deal.
For shizzle, I can zizzle.
This Labor Day weekend, get employee pricing plus on remaining 2005 models.
If the ride is more fly, then you must buy.
That's what I hear.
Boat owners need to take special precautions to protect their boat against hurricane damage. Before a storm approaches, make a hurricane plan. The day before a storm, remove all canopies and anything that might come loose.
This Hurricane 2005 safety tip is sponsored by South Florida Water Management District. Now through Labor Day, get 100 hot specials at Rooms to Go. That's 100 hot specials. Plus, make your first payment in April 2007. No money down, no minimum purchase, no interest, no payments until April 2007. Rooms to Go pays the interest for you. Choose from the latest just arrived new looks for fall. Get savings on 100 hot specials. Next day delivery on in-stock merchandise. And make your first payment April 2007. That's 100 specials. 100 reasons to shop Rooms to Go now through Labor Day.
Our best shows in HD TV tonight on CBS 4. Brought to you by BrandSmart USA.
Breaking news. Sports. Stocks. Get fast solutions every time on Herald.com.
Catch the Z's you've been dreaming of at Mattress Giant.
It's the Mattress Giant Labor Day sale you've been waiting for. Save 50% off a luxurious Euro top in any size. Or Spring Air, a Consumer Digest Best Buy, on sale from $499.99. Don't miss great savings and 0% interest for 24 months at Mattress Giant's Labor Day sale.
Only at Mattress Giant.
Too much sodium.
Come on, one more lap. You can do it.
Your doctor wants you to stay healthy. And at Care Plus, so do we. That's why Care Plus offers you 4 different health plans. One of them will be just what the doctor ordered. If you'd like more prescription coverage with a rollover option, choose the Care One plan. The Carefree plan pays your Medicare Part B premium and puts more money back into your Social Security check. Care Centers puts all your medical needs under one roof. And if your prescriptions are already covered, Care Extra gives you additional dental benefits. No matter which plan you choose, you always get more benefits than original Medicare. So, listen to your doctor. Eat right, exercise, take care of yourself. Remember, make healthy choices and choose the health plan that's just right for you. Great job.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
Tonight, Miami-Dade police are searching for a man who tried to abduct a 16-year-old girl walking home from school.
Police say this teen was grabbed while walking through the parking lot of a church in the area of Northwest 186th Street and 68th Avenue. CBS 4's Lee Davalos reports.
A terrifying ordeal for a 16-year-old student who decided to take a shortcut on her way home from school. It is something many students who attend American High School near 186th Street and Northwest 68th Avenue in Northwest Miami-Dade do. They walk home from school using the shortcut. But now,
scared and nervous.
On Wednesday, a senior was doing just that, taking the shortcut using this parking lot behind the Sunrise Presbyterian Church on her way home. Police say that's when a man standing near some bushes called her, then grabbed her.
She was called over, hey, you know, she grabbed her attention. He went, you know, he said, come with me. Okay, she refused. At one point, he walked fast toward her, lunged, grabbed.
Fortunately, the 16-year-old girl was able to fight the man off and ran away. But news of this attempted abduction is making parents and their children a little more cautious, even as police are stepping up patrols in that area.
It's really unfortunate that has happened in the neighborhood because you never know what can happen. But at the same time, I believe it's time that somebody pay attention to this because there's a lot of students in this school.
I'm gonna be careful, you know, look who's around. If anybody's trying to follow me or something, you know, I'll call my dad.
The suspect is described as a Hispanic male between the ages of 20 to 30 years old, 5'6" to 5'8", heavy-set with a mustache and a fade haircut, wearing a black T-shirt, beige shorts, and sandals. If you know anything about the suspect, you're asked to call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. That number, 305-471-TIPS. In Northwest Miami-Dade, Lee Davalos, CBS 4 News.
Well, Craig Setzer, I get the feeling the tropics are like an automatic weapon. Just keeps shooting at you and doesn't stop.
And this is the worst time of year, too. You know, the first few weeks of September when we're at the peak of the season. So there's a lot out there. No. Right now, nothing is close and headed this way. So that's good. Okay. Let's show you what we're looking at so far today. 93 in Miami, 90 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 88 in Key West. Overnight lows, upper 70s to low 80s. A little bit of rain here and there, and still there's some rain out there. Here's a look at real-time Doppler 4. Pretty heavy thunderstorms right now in North Dade. This activity has been slowly sinking to the southwest, really coming down for a time in South Broward as it worked its way into North Dade. But looks like some wet roads this evening in some spots, then things quieting down as the evening goes on. Here's radar in motion since 11:42 a.m. You can see the storms blowing up and just drifting to the southwest, not making a lot of speed here. So the spots that are picking up the rain, there's some local street flooding going on, and that'll be possible for the next several hours until this activity dies on out as the sun goes down and it starts to cool off. Speaking of cool, thunderstorms in Pembroke Pines has cooled things off to 77 right now, very comfortable. 82 at Opelika, 86 at MIA, and mix of upper 80s to low 80s across South Florida. Water vapor loop showing that we're still in this moist flow, high pressure to the north in the upper atmosphere, giving us the east wind and bringing that moisture. That red stuff is very drier, but unfortunately it is not going to make it down here. It's just looking too wet for us the next few days. Elsewhere in the tropics, we are watching. There is Tropical Depression Lee, there is Tropical Depression 14, and the wave we're most concerned about right now would be this one way down here because it's far enough south that it's more likely to not be caught by that high, more likely to move to the west or west-northwest, so we will keep our eyes on it. Across the southeast today, thunderstorms, as we showed you earlier, popping up in the New Orleans area. Not good there for the recovery efforts. Warm temperatures also throughout much of the southeast, 80s and 90s for current readings. Here's our forecast for tonight. Spotty storms, then drying out. A low near 78 degrees. For tomorrow, look for some hot sun. Slow-moving storms likely and heavy rain in spots. 92 the high. Pollen count, everything is low and taking us through the holiday weekend. It's not looking great, looking like a chance for storms just about any time, but not a weekend washout, at least not right now. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Craig. Celebrities are now joining the relief efforts for victims of Hurricane Katrina. We're going to tell you what they're doing up next.
And if you would like to help the victims, give Neighbors for Neighbors a call at 305-597-4404. CBS 4 News at 5:30. We'll be right back.
Final days of the Ford family plan are here.
Now's your last chance to get employee pricing on many Ford vehicles. Plus, take up to $6,000 cash back. One low price, no hassles. Employee pricing plus up to $6,000 cash back. And soon at your South Florida Ford dealer.
You know you gotta ride it.
How fast could you run when you were 2? The Juvenile Showcase. See 6 big stakes for 2-year-olds. And score a free t-shirt. Saturday at Calder.
Wake up to good health today. For a limited time only, stop by your local Publix and pick up Kellogg's Healthy Beginnings magazine, filled with valuable coupons worth over $20. Healthy living begins with healthy eating, and this free guide focuses on fiber, quick breakfast tips, heart health, and just as important, how to eat right and stay healthy. Available exclusively at Publix grocery stores. This magazine is all you need to have a healthy beginning every morning.
As the sweltering days of summer come to pass, the time comes for an event so momentous it can't be missed. The Toyota Time Clearance Event. To get a great deal, you have to start with great vehicles, like the fun-to-drive Toyota Corolla. Or check out the Camry, the best-selling car in America. Offers extended. Get $1,500 cash back or 1.9% financing for 36 months on the 05 Camry LE. Catch astonishing Labor Day values now. When it comes to deals like these, everyone wins. That's moving you forward.
Marshall's Law number 6. You can't choose your DNA, but you can always choose your genes. Designer fall fashions. Fabulous prices you'll fall for. That's Marshall's Law.
New at 6, South Florida Support, the massive effort to get relief to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. And the latest from Brian Andrews and David Bernard, the only South Florida TV reporters in New Orleans. New at 6.
Several celebrities are coming forward tonight to try and help the victims of Hurricane Katrina.
Jerry Lewis announcing that his annual Labor Day fundraiser will also help raise money for relief efforts. Lewis says his telethon for the Muscular Dystrophy Association will include celebrity appeals for hurricane relief.
The trouble those people are in is unlike anything that has ever happened to this country before, including 9/11. We're losing as many people, if not more, when they're all counted.
Lewis also says that MDA will donate $1 million to help victims in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The broadcast begins at 9 p.m. Sunday on our sister station, UPN 33.
Alicia Keys and Usher will be among the artists set to perform in an MTV special. The show will raise money for the Red Cross and other relief agencies. That special is set to air September 10th. Also taking part, Ludacris, the Dave Matthews Band, Rob Thomas, and John Mellencamp.
And tennis champ Serena Williams is pledging to donate $100 for every ace she serves for the rest of the year to relief efforts. John McEnroe, by the way, has also pledged to donate $25,000 to relief efforts and urged others involved in the sport to do what they can.
The news at 6 o'clock is next.
Rob Hanrahan is here with a look at the stories we're working on tonight. Rob.
And you can bet our focus remains on Katrina. Coming up in just a few minutes, more dire and more desperate. The rescues, recovery, and heartbreak in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
I'm CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard.
And I'm CBS 4's Brian Andrews. We're coming to you tonight from Kenner, Louisiana.
Reporting on the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. We'll have the latest coming up.
And South Florida steps in to help the victims, the massive effort of the Coast Guard as it begins a momentous task. Then we'll tell you how you can personally help the victims. Plus the skyrocketing prices at the gas pump. The governor calls on you to cut back on gasoline consumption. CBS 4 Live team coverage you won't see anywhere else. And we have other news of the day. A man who works with children each day under arrest, accused of child molestation. Details on those stories and more just ahead. See you in a minute.
Enthusiastic about driving? Lauderdale BMW understands your passion. Lease a new X3 sports activity vehicle for $349. Standard all-wheel drive system, spacious interior, automatic transmission, plus an eye-catching panoramic moonroof. Zero cost, full maintenance, exhilarating to drive. Any road, anytime, any reason. Lauderdale BMW with 2 locations in Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines. Lauderdale BMW, the real difference.
announcing $24.95 Bell South Fast Access DSL. It's a price so low, I'm staying right here to see if that price is going to last.
Now get more internet speed for one low price with no gimmicks, no limited time pricing, and no dial-up pain guaranteed.
Still $24.95. Come on, people, this price couldn't last much longer. Hey, Pat, the price doesn't change.
Right. Right back. Call today and get Bell South Fast Access DSL for just $24.95 a month every month.
If you dream of furnishing your home with the best, but think it's out of your price range, you haven't been to Behr's. Now get extra savings on the stuff that dreams are made of at Behr's incredible Labor Day weekend sale. Up to 50% savings on every item in our showroom. All the styles you want at prices you have to see to believe. No interest 1 year. 24-hour delivery. Pinch yourself, you're not dreaming. Behr's Labor Day weekend sale. Beyond the ordinary. Don't miss it.
Are you ready?
Oprah's Wildest Dreams bus is coming to you. Big stars are making dreams come true. Plus,
Only one person could help me bring this dream to life. Halle Berry. Next Oprah.
Tomorrow at 4 on CBS 4.
Nice ride. Thank you, Mocha Coca. Chrysler and Jeep came up on Buku Awards. And Dodge trucks last as long as the Deagle Double Chisel. Plus, I got the hookup, nephew, for sure.
You know, I'm not too sure of what you just said. Now everybody gets a great deal.
For shizzle, I can zizzle.
This Labor Day weekend, get employee pricing plus on remaining 2005 models.
If the ride is more fly, then you must buy.
That's what I hear.
CBS 4 News is sponsored by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can take life by the horns. Dodge.
That does it for CBS 4 News at 5:30. Thanks for watching. CBS 4 News at 6 with Rob Hanrahan and Beatrice Cannell starts right now.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News at 6.
New Orleans out of control. Misery and panic, fires and fights, squalor and suffering.
I'm so worried. I don't know where my sons are.
Tonight, the crisis and chaos after Katrina intensifies.
And tonight, thousands are trapped in the New Orleans Convention Center, and there are reports of some being raped and beaten.
We have team coverage from the catastrophe in Louisiana and then team coverage on the South Florida support headed to the region. CBS 4's Brian Andrews begins tonight from outside New Orleans in Kenner.
Dire straits right now in downtown New Orleans as thousands of people are trying to get out. Tempers are flaring. There is no food. People are running out of water. Supplies have still not gotten into the downtown area. Let's take you to videotape, show you what's happening at the Louisiana Superdome. It is a mess. People are angry. There are reports that a Louisiana National Guardsman had his gun taken from him last night and he was shot in some sort of skirmish. There are also reports that women have been raped in the Superdome, that there have been fistfights, that there have been stabbings. It's just a lawless situation downtown, which is why the National Guard and the military police are sending in additional reinforcements to help the New Orleans Police Department, which is apparently overwhelmed with trying to keep the peace in the downtown area. We're actually outside of New Orleans right now. It has just finished raining, and as you can see, the State Police Command Post is behind us. Let me bring in CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard. David, you know people down here, and they've been filling you in on the real story. What's happening behind the scenes here?
Well, it's just unbelievable, Brian, and lawlessness reigns over a good part of the metropolitan area. I want to speak now with Anne-Marie Dusang with the Louisiana State Police. Anne-Marie, this has to be one of the toughest challenges the Louisiana State Police has ever faced.
It definitely is. We have troopers working round the clock right now. We have gotten a lot of help, many volunteers. We could use as much as we can possibly get, and we're grateful for a lot of the help that we do, but everyone's getting tired, and it's rough. It's hard.
Do you think that the reinforcements coming in, the military, National Guard, are going to help stabilize the situation soon?
It seems like they have been so far. We're trying to get things under control, and it seems like a lot of it is pretty much controlled now.
Okay, well, hopefully things will get better in the next coming days. For Brian Andrews, I'm meteorologist David Bernard reporting from the Hurricane Katrina disaster zone. Back to you.
In Gulfport, Mississippi, rescue crews there are going house to house searching for survivors left in the wreckage after Hurricane Katrina. Some victims have been found lying in piles of debris clinging to life.
In Biloxi, the Red Cross and National Guard brought some much-needed supplies to the storm-ravaged area. Residents spent hours in long lines waiting to stock up on essentials such as water, food, and ice.
Also in Biloxi, Mississippi, incredible new video taken by a South Florida man as Katrina comes ashore. Shane Brown of Boca Raton and a friend captured a storm surge reaching 27 feet as rising waters pushed through windows and doors at a hotel he was staying in. Down below, cars floated among the debris.
In Gulfport, Mississippi, residents are walking through debris. They're trying to keep their spirits alive, one of them holding an American flag here. So far, 126 deaths are reported in that state. Rescue teams are searching for survivors in a sea of rubble, and crews are trying to alleviate potential health hazards by clearing the streets of rotting shrimp and chicken from nearby processing plants.
And this just in, new video tonight from the devastated region. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez has it live at the breaking news desk. Elliot.
Yeah, Beatrice, the first video I want to show you is from Kenner, Louisiana, where FEMA has set up a makeshift hospital, and you're seeing there the sick and elderly. These are people that have been stranded, alone, and desperate. They're finally getting medical attention at that hospital that has been set up by FEMA and other federal officials in Kenner, Louisiana. That's good news there. We also want to show you a video out of Houston, Texas, where the Astrodome already has refugees from New Orleans. Now, they have been arriving by the thousands. They were taken by bus. By the end of the day, that number is expected to quadruple. Each evacuee from the Superdome, we're told, has been given a bracelet allowing them to freely go in and out of the Astrodome, something that they were not permitted to do in New Orleans, of course, partially because of the safety concerns. Part of the roof had collapsed at the Superdome. There was flooding outside. A different situation, hopefully a calmer, more peaceful situation for these folks who are now at the Astrodome in Houston, getting a cot, getting some food and water, and now hopefully they will wait out to see what the future holds for them. Reporting from the breaking news desk, Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
Also tonight, more local Coast Guard members are heading out to help the victims of Katrina.
And across South Florida, the massive relief effort is just getting started. Our live team coverage now on the South Florida support begins with CBS 4's Dave Malkoff live in Miami Beach. Dave?
Yeah, Rob, they're not just deploying from here, but also from the Coast Guard station down in the Keys and also from the air station in Opa-locka. The Coasties, as they call themselves, have trained for this over and over again, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be an unemotional trip.
I joined the Coast Guard because I was very attracted to the humanitarian aspect of saving lives.
And that's exactly what Lieutenant Gerald King has done here, rescuing stranded swimmers and boaters in South Florida, his adopted home.
I'm also a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. I have a lot of very good friends and family still in New Orleans.
Now the HH-65 Dolphin helicopters he flies are on their way into Lieutenant King's childhood memories that have been washed away.
I'm seeing on the news, the roads I've driven down frequently as a child are now flooded and people are going down in small boats.
There's waterways that need to be assessed and reopened. There's Coast Guard stations that provide a whole host of homeland security and safety operations.
Some of those stations need to be reopened. Others need rebuilt from the soggy ground up. And that's why it's not just one Coast Guard station helping out. It's basically all of them on the East Coast, including Key West.
The crew's ready to go. We managed to retop all our supplies, rest up, because we know we're going to be working around the clock up there.
Distributing water, gas, vegetable Alfredo MREs, and more.
Baby food, baby diapers, personal care kits, including shampoo, soap, deodorant.
The basics of life when life is so basic in your hometown.
I anticipate myself being there in New Orleans shortly, as well to rotate out and help the relief crews as necessary.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Before the storm even hit the Gulf states, they were already sending 25 personnel from here along with 2 helicopters. Now they know it is much worse than first.
of these images, it's really easy to feel kind of overwhelmed here, but there really is something that you can do to help, and it's quite easy. All you have to do is pick up your phone and give a call to our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. We have volunteers standing by in here to take your phone calls right now. The phone number 305-597-4404. You can call that number to make monetary donations. That's really what's needed right now, because sending supplies to the affected area is difficult at best.
Along the northern Gulf Coast, the scene is one of chaos. Behind the scenes, though, it's not a whole lot better.
They're running short of all kinds of stuff, of food and water and everything, and we're having a great deal of difficulty managing to provide commodities.
We got exclusive permission Thursday afternoon to sit in on this conference call between federal and state disaster response officials and relief organizations. Few answers, lots of questions, and lots of frustration.
It's utter chaos now, and we're just not going to get anything productive done until they get a little bit of a cleanup up there and get things organized. Well, this is all new to them, and, you know, down in Florida, unfortunately, we're seasoned.
I know.
So I think what we need to do is just sit back and be a little patient. If we send anything up blind, we're just going to get turned around.
Sure.
You know, so we're gonna have to work very closely and respect their position of what's going on, and respect them in their state. And we're going to try to help out as much as we can, but we can't force anything on them.
One of those on the call, Julius Littman of North Miami's Stop Hunger. He has plenty of supplies for those in need, but he himself is in need of help on the other end to distribute what he's trying to send.
How many trailer loads do you have here?
Right now we got 3 ready to go, but we can't load them or ship them because we have no place up there to ship it to.
By contrast, shipments of people are coming out of New Orleans, including displaced college undergrads arriving in South Florida now. Temporarily, they will be allowed to pursue higher learning on higher ground here.
We are hoping not to turn anybody away. We feel very strongly about a semester is so important in the life of a student.
Already, FIU has taken in dozens of those so-called refugee students. Getting back now to how you can help. Again, Neighbors for Neighbors volunteers standing by to help right now to take your monetary donations. And you can definitely trust these people. They've done this for a long time. In fact, this organization started back because of Hurricane Andrew. They are very well connected. They know how to handle these kind of disaster responses, and they will funnel your money, every penny of it, to select agencies which will get that money to specific families in the Gulf Coast region who are in need right now. Again, that phone number, 305-597-4404. Live with Neighbors for Neighbors, Jason Wheeler, CBS 4 News.
And tonight at 7 o'clock, CBS 4 will air a half-hour special on the crisis and chaos on the Gulf Coast after Katrina. We're going to emphasize how you can help provide relief to the storm victims. There are many ways. That's tonight at 7 o'clock right here on CBS 4.
Then on Saturday, tune in for a 1-hour Hurricane Katrina special and telethon. We will bring you the latest out of the Gulf Coast and give you a chance to help out the victims in desperate need. This special is this Saturday at 7 p.m. and again on our sister station UPN 33 Sunday at 1 p.m. And CBS 4's Mike Kirsch is also heading to New Orleans to cover the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. You can look for his live reports.
Well, from the relief, our team coverage continues now with the pumped-up gas prices across the nation and a call to conserve fuel. CBS 4's Tina Verona on Pump Patrol today in Doral.
Days, 2 or 3 pennies every day.
A few pennies here, a few pennies there doesn't seem like very much, but the truth is gas prices are adding up quickly. At this Shell gas station in Doral, we saw the price of regular gas go up 4 cents, premium 2 cents, making it hard for Elier Lopez to pinch his pennies.
I was putting normally $90, $115.
But is Katrina solely to blame? Attorney General Charlie Crist has issued subpoenas to 2 oil companies who together in the past 48 hours have raised their prices. For regular gas and had folks lining up.
Our fuel supply is considered adequate if residents use fuel responsibly, remain considerate of their neighbors, and don't hoard.
Not the case, though, here at this Citgo gas station in Doral. The nozzles are bagged, the pumps bone dry.
I was expecting gas, but as far as I can see, there is nothing, no more.
The demand continues to exceed, and I personally believe is the fact that people are panicking.
Alvarez is expecting another shipment and hopes his pumps will be full by tonight. Now, while you are asked by the governor to conserve, you should also be aware. The Attorney General's office has launched an investigation into possible price gouging. If you suspect price gouging, you should report it to the Florida Fraud Hotline at 1-866-9-NO-SCAM. In Doral, Tina Verona, CBS 4 News.
Stay with CBS 4 for continuing coverage in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Look for the latest tonight on our sister station, UPN 33 News at 10, and on CBS 4 News tonight at 11 o'clock.
And on the heels of Katrina, more activity in the tropics. Tropical depression number 14 has formed in the Atlantic, and it's not the only system we're watching tonight. CBS 4 meteorologist Brian Norcross tracking the tropics live from Weather Control. Brian.
Beatrice, it is September 1st. We expect activity in the tropics. We're not concerned about most of what's going on, but there is one system we are definitely going to have to watch. Here you see there are actually 4 things out there. First of all, Tropical Depression Lee is not a factor. Tropical Depression 14, not an issue. This issue over here off our coast, we're going to keep half an eye on that. I'll talk more about that in the weather segment coming up in about 15 minutes. It's this thing down here in the corner of your screen that we are most interested in, and we'll have to watch closely to see exactly what develops there. First of all, just to dispense with the 2 systems the National Hurricane Center is tracking. 35 miles an hour on Tropical Depression number 14, west-northwest at 12, but there you see it's going to not be a factor to the east of the Leeward Islands.